contrasting styles of these two teams are what's going to make this game fun.
And they've had some excellent games. I mean, some of the really close and tight fought games are between these two teams.
This is going to be a fun one here this afternoon. Derrick, bring it down the house! Great ball movement from the Lady Panther.
That was nice.
Malden can just do so many things. It's so athletic.
You mentioned earlier in the game, Pat, how you really like this freshman. I can see why.
The Brighton Bengals are the Division II state champions. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Latin Academy High School in Dorchester for a girls basketball game in the Boston Public Schools as the Fenway Panthers will be taking on the Latin Academy Dragons. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Flaherty, joined by my partner, Alan Platt. Alan, we're about a month away from almost the city championships. It's crazy. The snowstorm and everything kind of threw everything into a blender. But through this point in the season, everything's kind of shaped up on the girls' side as we expected. Fenway and New Mission are once again a couple of the top teams, and teams like Latin Academy are sort of just behind
Trying
them.
to get up there, right, exactly.
Right,
yeah.
So sort of how it's been the past few years is the same again here in 2018. First, we'll start with Latin Academy. Like we said, 4-3, so right about where they usually are. They had a big win last night against Malden, and one of their biggest reasons for the over 500 record so far this season has been their outstanding sophomore, Fiona Mannion.
Oh, in the middle. 0-0, very easy to find on the floor. Should be 0-0 in white tonight. Leading scorer, leading rebounder, plays very well, really tough to guard. Very tough to guard, so you're right. Their best chance to take down this Fenway team is to feed Fiona as often as possible, give her as many touches offensively, especially down the baseline, as possible.
No question. She had 23 points last night against Malden. She had 21 earlier in the year against Brighton, so definitely a good scorer for the Latin Academy Dragons. Meanwhile, on the other side for Fenway, a lot of good players that we've seen over the years, some all-stars on that team, but one player that we saw a lot last year was Shania Tarver. She's our spotlight player tonight. Good all-around player for this Fenway
that's
team.
the key. She should be a spotlight player. She started out her career at Fenway as a defensive specialist, but the last 2 seasons as a sophomore and junior, she really picked up her offense, and now as a senior, she leads the team, and the team looks to her for emotional support as well as leadership on the floor.
No question. You see her defensively, get blocks, rebounds, and she can score. Not necessarily a volume scorer like Coach Rice talks about, but she can score if the team needs it.
Oh, yeah. You got to remember, the last 3 years while she's on the team, Fenway had other players who were top scorers. Now she's the one who's stepping up.
No question.
And, Coach Rice has plenty of confidence in her, and she plays very steady. Nice calming influence for some of the younger players on Latin Academy. On Fenway.
No question, and that's why they're off to a 7-2 start this season because of players like her. Now for more on this game, we're going to go to our sideline reporter, David Souza, who's got an update for us. David, what do you have?
Thanks, guys. The big story of the night for the Lady Dragons is going to be the absence of Jordan Bellot. Had 13 points last night against Malden. Suffered an injury, though, unfortunately, towards the end of that game. She'll be replaced by Mackenzie Theriot in the starting lineup. And then a big matchup we're going to have to watch. It's going to be Fiona Mannion. She's one of the top scoring forwards for the Lady Dragons. She'll be matched up with Mayara Carter of the Panthers underneath the hoop. That's going to be one we're going to be looking forwards all day. Back to you, Patrick.
David, thanks very much. Certainly when you lose a athletic and talented freshman, that she scored 13 points last night. She got hurt very late in that game. She's out,
really
I think, for a couple of weeks.
Just bad luck.
And when you're playing an athletic team like Fenway, who likes to get up and down, you certainly don't want to lose
all your
young
weapons.
athleticism. So that's certainly a tough break for them tonight. We're just about ready to go here at Latin Academy High School, so we'll take a look at the starters before we tip off here in Dorchester. And first up, it's the Fenway starters. Colby Upchurch, who's a transfer from Boston Latin School at the point guard spot. Natalie David at shooting guard. Shania Tarver, as we mentioned, small forward. Janiah Gully, power forward. And Mayara Carter at center. Meanwhile, starters for Latin Academy. You have Aisling Mannion, the point guard. Mackenzie Theriot, who is starting in place of the freshman Bellot. And then you have Leary, Mannion, and Michaela Russell. And I really think it's those two bigs down low for Latin Academy, Russell and Mannion, who are going to have to go to work tonight against Fenway.
There's no doubt about that. Let's see if some of the emotion from last night's win, because quite frankly, to take down Malden like Latin Academy did is considered a bit of an upset, and it also got them over the 500 mark.
That's
They're
right.
4-3.
Yeah, 2 of Latin Academy's losses came to North Reading, who's a very solid team here in the state of Massachusetts. So we'll see how they respond here to another very good team in Fenway. We're underway here at Latin Academy High. Fenway controls the opening tap, 3-pointer, short, and Mannion Tries to control the rebound, and it goes out of bounds. That'll go to Latin Academy. Fenway in the all-black uniforms, white and yellow trim. Latin Academy in the all-white uniforms, yellow and black trim. Trying to get it inside, but it's tapped away. Natalie David.
Nice steal by Mannion.
Now it's Russell with it, gets it up to Mannion. She's guarded by Tarver. Mannion trying to drive to the hoop. And she's double teamed down low.
I was going to say, double team's going to come from the baseline for Fenway.
She's seen a lot of that this season. And it's Isaiah Thornton, who is a quick addition to the starting lineup, is out there. Coach Rice always talks about her being their best defensive player on the team.
Well, Thornton, still young players, is sort of have a bit of a switch from point guard to shooting guard. So we'll look for her to try to get open. There she's with the ball.
Swing it to Upchurch. And she scores off the window. Colby Upchurch.
Thumbs up two, thumbs up two, thumbs up two.
Ashling Mannion, Fiona's sister, at the point guard spot. Fiona off the up fake, scoop, and she scores the first bucket for Latin Academy.
It's going to be a quick timeout because John Rice, like I said a minute ago, he set up his defense to have a double team come from the baseline. That time, for whatever reason, no one was there, so he's going to take a quick timeout just to get that right. Because he knows that Mannion can be a volume scorer, doesn't want to get her off to a good start.
Yeah, the last thing you want to see is the player who just scored 23 last night to get it going early here tonight. So certainly a concern for John Rice and the Fenway Panthers. The AC coach Bill Dever, who's back as the head coach for Latin Academy. It was Emily Coleman who was here for, I believe, 5 seasons.
Years, right, that's right.
Before Bill just got back. So Emily went on to other things, and Bill was happy to be back here at Latin Academy High. So good to see him here at the Dragons gym once again.
And he's going to try the best he can to take advantage of the home court advantage and also see if they can string back-to-back wins. They have a couple of other games coming up in the next 3 days. So strange schedule, like you said, the weather and the postponements have really started to bunch the schedules together for these teams.
Natalie David lining up a three, and she gets it to go. Natalie was a point guard last year for Fenway and now switched over to the shooting guard spot. Here comes Michaela Russell trying to get it inside, poked away
22.
by Janiyah Gully. That'll stay with the Dragons.
Yeah, Janiyah, we saw her as a freshman last year. And I noticed on the roster here, she's grown to 6 feet. She was like 5'10", 5'11" last year. Now she's a solid 6 feet. Saw those long arms right there to knock the ball away. So yeah, there's the double team.
And Mannion gets it poked away.
Yeah, that's exactly what Coach Rice called the timeout for.
Thornton trying to go coast to coast. She gets tied up inside by Mannion. Here comes Fiona. Now back up top, Leahy. Nowhere to go with it. And that's going to be a travel on Ashling.
Yeah, it looks like the key in the set offense for Latin Academy, especially early on, Coach Dever right there, is going to be who can make an outside shot after Mannion gets double teamed down low. Because she will kick it out. But some of her teammates have got to put down some outside shots.
Nice up and under move from Gully. She couldn't get the first one to go. Now it's Tarver. And Ashling Mannion comes away with the loose ball. Fiona up to her teammate Terrio, who gets fouled on her way to the rim.
Yeah, tough collision there, but again, you had Gully just trying to prevent the shot, maybe block it, but took the blocking foul. You were talking about some of the difficulties. Building difficulties, weather difficulties. A couple of games had to be postponed because the floors just had too much condensation.
Yeah, you were mentioning, as Terrio knocks down both free throws, you were mentioning that Latin Academy has to play New Mission on Sunday, so they've had 3 games in 4 days. Their New Mission game last Friday had that issue. New Mission had all this condensation from the warm weather and the snow, and you couldn't play on the floor because it was
too slippery.
Too slippery,
and it's a safety issue, definitely.
Gully gets fouled on the inside, and I believe she's going to get 2 free throws.
Yeah, it was close to a travel, but she was able to get the shot off with the contact. Strange, because remember last year we had so much snow that canceled so many games, and that's what condensed the schedule. This year, this cold weather Oh, what was it? Not that 9-day stretch of like 0 degrees.
Oh, that was brutal. And Gully no good on the first. I've heard from several coaches now, too, that because of the big snowstorm that we had, that was over a couple of days, there's a couple of days of no school, you also can't get into the gym.
You can't, exactly.
So a lot of these players just
no
can't get
games, no
any
practice.
Exactly.
And it's far more important for the younger players who are just stepping up to varsity. But it's important for everybody just to get that conditioning, and that's what the coaches are sort of fighting with. And in some cases, they'll be extending the benches. Some of the players, younger players who wouldn't expect to play normally, will get some minutes.
So Latin Academy here calls a timeout with 4:59 left to go in the first quarter. Fenway on top 5-4. Both teams a little bit sluggish offensively here in the opening frame, both trying to feed it inside clearly to their post players.
Yeah, that's where the strength is. I mean, you get the Mikado's not in right now for Fenway, but with Gully in there, like I said, a 6-footer, she's a good target inside. But Latin Academy also really has some strong outside shooters. I was watching them. They had like at least three different drills shooting outside shots. So Coach Rice has a different look with this crew out there right now.
Yeah, we don't see Miara Carter out there. She was a late scratch as well. She's sitting on the bench with a T-shirt on, so I don't know if she's even going to play tonight.
Well, she was warming up. I mean, but you're right. I mean, it's unclear if she's going to play.
Russell looking up to Terrio. Good ball movement to Leahy, and she can't convert off the window.
Those are the kind of shots I was just talking about. The Latin Academy's got to be able to put those down.
Gully now trying to go coast to coast. Nice move to the rim, and she will again get 2 freebies.
That's a reach-in foul. Yeah, Ashley Mannion actually did a good job to get herself set, but the last second she reached for the ball. That's what the foul was.
Gully finally gets one to go. She's now 1 for 3 at the free throw line here in the first quarter.
Just a sophomore. We saw her play a lot of minutes as a freshman last year. Like I mentioned earlier, she's actually grown a little bit. So as a sophomore, she might still keep growing. It's
Natalie David trying to get the steal, but she couldn't keep her feet. Upchurch knocks it out of bounds, but that's going to stay Latin Academy ball.
It's like a swarming defense for Fenway. Try to use their length to get the hands on some of these loose balls.
Mannion off the spin move, and she gets fouled on the block.
Once the double team came over that time, Tarver, a little too aggressive, had the block and foul.
21, Kayla, 21.
So that foul is going to be on Gully. I believe that's her first personal foul.
Go. Right. Overload, post overload.
Terrio fires up a 3 off the back iron.
Grab that.
And Russell got caught underneath the hoop. And here comes Gully. Janaya Gully.
Those long strides.
David over to Gully. Rattles home a 3 for Fenway.
See, that's the outside shooting that they were practicing right before the game. Swing the ball across to the deep wing. That Gully hit that 3. Full court press. Wow. Man did a good job coming back for that. Saved the 5-second violation.
Leahy lines up a 3, and she's short with it. Russell with the rebound, trying to feed it inside to Fiona. And Mannion gets a shot blocked inside by Natalie David. Thornton off the up fake, trying to go baseline, and Russell is whistled for the foul.
Yeah, we're seeing the quickness of Fenway, giving them an edge here in the early going. Up by 5, 9-4.
David trying to pass it along the baseline, stolen away by Russell. Mannion inside to Leahy, now inside to Mannion. Fiona can't squeeze it home. Rebound comes down to Gully.
That's her 5th rebound already.
Janaya to the goal, gets it to go. So Gully now with 6 points to lead Fenway.
If she decides to stay with basketball, she's going to be something. I think she's going to grow some more. She's only a sophomore. You see those strides here with hand on the ball.
Long
finishing.
arms, too.
Oh, yeah.
She's got those long arms, and she can shoot.
And has a defensive instincts, so she'll be fun to watch.
Go, numbers.
Aisling Mannion kicks it out to Fiona. Fiona on the drive.
Gully blocked that.
Stop ball.
Here comes Shania Tarver. Striding down the floor. She
Nice
gets it
floater.
to go.
Nice floater. We talked about her in the open being under control. It's a good example of it right there. Yeah, Miara Carr is getting ready to come in the game now.
Fiona Mannion gets the basket and the foul.
Well, we said she's a scorer, but the way that Fenway's been double teaming her in the half-court offense, she hasn't had many shot opportunities.
They're going to call that on the floor. So basket is no good.
Wow. That's a tough break.
Too early? 1 step too early?
Yeah, that's a tough break for them because a possible three-point play could try to spark their offense, but they'll keep possession.
Down screens, go.
Lizzie Frattaroli in now for Latin Academy as Mannion tries a scoop shot, and it's poked out of bounds off of Mannion, they say, so that'll go back to Fenway.
Yeah, Mannion thought it was blocked out of her hands.
Nine-point lead for Fenway here with just over 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Miara Carter also in for Fenway, seeing her first action. Swinging over to Thornton off the back iron. She's no good, but she gets her own rebound. Upchurch, top of the key. Carter in there for the loose ball. Cannot squeeze it home, but she'll go to the free throw line.
Makes her presence felt right away. First time down on offense, get an offensive rebound.
And first free throw goes down for Carter after being fouled by Fiona Mannion. Fiona's second personal foul. So Carter knocks down both free throws.
She's come a long way with her free throw shooting. Remember her as a freshman. Really didn't want to go to the free throw line.
Frattaroli gets fouled on her way to the rim.
A good aggressive move. You have the Fenway defense focus so much on Mannion down on the baseline that time you had Frattaroli with the open floor.
And Frattaroli no good on the first. Frattaroli no good on the second.
Ball, go, regular two, let's go.
Upchurch over to the corner. Three-pointer no good that time from Imani Terry. Good swing of the basketball. Wide open layup for Terry.
Now Carter, as soon as she touched the ball, looked for a pass.
Terrio now out on the break. Gets fouled, and it doesn't fall in for her, but she'll get 2 more free throws.
First time that Latin Academy just was able to break the press with a long half-court pass. They probably should look for that more often because the Latin Academies, they're really aggressive with this full-court pressure.
Terrio no good on the first.
They like throwing a fly pattern in football. Just got to be accurate with it.
Three for 6 now from the line is Latin Academy. 12-point lead for the Dragons. Or for Fenway, rather, with just under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Carter trying to feed it inside to Tarver, and it'll stay with Fenway.
This 2-3 zone for Latin Academy is doing a decent job on the baseline. They've really been hurt from the outside by the outside shooting and the offensive rebounds. That's the size difference and quickness difference that's hurting them right now.
Terry gets
Block.
a shot blocked by Russell. Leahy can't hang on, however, so Fenway will get it back with 40 seconds left to go in the quarter.
Yeah, Leahy was trying to look down court before she even got her hands in the ball.
Another three lined up, that one no good. Fenway unable to grab it before it goes out of bounds, so Latin Academy can play for the final shot of the quarter. Frattaroli now going to slow it up for Latin Academy, and Carter knocks it out of bounds
25.
here with 21 seconds left to go.
25.
Everything's a double on Mannion, unless she goes outside like she is right now. It's going to be a blocking foul on Carter. See, Mannion's deceptive. You know, she has good size, but she has a nice first step.
24 step.
That's the sixth personal foul on Fenway, so Latin Academy will be shooting the bonus the rest of the way here in the first half. 10 seconds left to go here in the quarter. They feed it into Mannion. Fiona gets fouled again, so she'll be shooting a one-on-one.
I mean, it's a situation you're down, so you got to almost force the ball into Mannion. So she's your scorer. I don't think they're trying to, the mistake that the official didn't understand. The table didn't tell them it should be a bonus. Tough break for Latin Academy. They could have had an opportunity to get free throws.
I think they are going to try to correct that now. So Fiona Mannion should be shooting a one-on-one right now, so she'll get those two free throws before the end of the quarter.
That's a correctable error.
And John Rice is agreeing on
the
other side. He knows. Yeah, we know John knows the rules.
It's almost like, okay, well, I don't want it to happen, but they have the rule.
Hey, he also knows his game's on TV, so he knows we can count exactly how many fouls happen there in the first quarter.
And it helps you up double digits, right?
Right. So Mannion misses the first, so she won't get the second. So that is going to do it for the first quarter here at Latin Academy High School in Dorchester. The Lady Dragons on top of the Fenway Panthers on top of the Latin Academy Lady Dragons, 17-5. We're going to head to break when we come back from the second quarter here on Game of the Week. Don't go away.
Red hat. Oops. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt. Oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants. Oops.
Welcome back to Latin Academy High School in Dorchester for Game of the Week. The Fenway Panthers lead the Latin Academy Dragons 17-5. Just about ready to start the third quarter, and our sideline reporter David Souza has an update for us. David?
Fenway coach John Rice wasn't happy with his team's defense before those first two timeouts. That's why they switched to that more full-court press that you've seen, and it's turned into some vital points for the Panthers. Back to you, Patrick.
Thanks, David. And Fenway again firing up the three. And now we got a jump ball that'll go back to Fenway.
I like Mannion's aggressive play, though. See, that time to double team, was able to split the defenders, get the ball, but it's called a hell ball. It goes back to the Panthers.
Yeah, she's had a tough time getting much going offensively, but they're going to keep feeding it into her.
Got to. You got to. She's the main offensive weapon. Like you said, the other girl, Bellot, hurt, the other scorer.
Carter with a turnaround jumper. She gets it to go for it.
Latin Academy players.
Married Grealish in there, a freshman for Latin Academy, wasn't able to hang on to that pass. So Fenway now with the basketball here, just about a minute into the second quarter.
Some of the Dragons got to get some nerves out of their system. Turnovers will kill them against Fenway.
Here comes Russell. Feeds it inside nicely to Frateroli, but the ball does not fall for Latin Academy.
Again, they're a little anxious. They know that Fenway always plays tough defense, and they have that size inside with Carter. So one of those things, we have a big shot blocker in there. You almost feel like you have to look before you shoot.
Mannion inside, and freshman no good. Russell gets the putback and one.
Good job. One of the few offensive rebounds for the Dragons. They cash in that time. Watch the action. You see rolls off, and Russell on the baseline just beats the box out.
Russell no good on the free throw. So 12-point game here with Fenway on top, 19-7. That three is good from Colby Upchurch.
They just stepped right in.
That hurts for Latin Academy. He had a three-point opportunity, couldn't convert, and then Fenway comes right back down and gets a three.
Give up a three. Yeah.
And you turn it over there. They feed it inside to Sullivan, but she tries to get it back to Carter. That's going to go back to Latin Academy.
Yeah, 3-second violation. Tara comes back in. She'll replace Asia Sullivan. Going long is Mannion. See how this works out.
Mannion tries a reverse layup that time to stay away from Carter. And now it's Upchurch. Amani Terry. Carter with a power move to the basket.
Good. Yeah, good description. Use that left hands. Nice soft touch.
Frateroli sort of lost it on the way to the basket. Carter again towards the rim that time. She got bumped, no foul. Mannion now with an opening. Tries a floater, she can't get it to go. Fiona on the putback, no good. Russell trying to save it. Or Grealish rather, but that'll go back to Fenway.
We're starting to see some frustration with the Latin Academy Dragons. As they, even when they're getting these offensive rebounds, just not being able to get putbacks. And biggest thing right now, Fenway has the game at their pace. When they have openings, they run. Now they'll go into their set. They have 2 3-point shooters on each wing. And, of course, Carter's coming out of the game, but Sullivan is back in. Good patience.
David, no good on the straightaway three. Asia Sullivan coming away with the rebound. And she gets fouled underneath.
Yeah, when you're in that 2-3 zone, you got 3 players in the baseline. The worst thing in the world is to give up offensive rebounds. Especially when Fenway doesn't have all their size in. Both Carter and Gully are sitting down right now.
Corner three for David, that's no good. Mannion up to Frateroli on a break. And Frateroli can't get it to go. Gets knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Latin Academy.
Coaches from Latin Academy do not want to count the layups that have been missed so far. I mean, good effort to get out there.
Oh, yeah.
Get the chance, but got to convert.
Russell inside to Frateroli, and that gets knocked out of bounds by David.
Yes, you had a clear path to the basket.
23.
Flatteroli saves it, but it goes right to Fenway. Here comes David. Now going to slow it up for the Panthers. Upchurch, wide open three, gets it to go.
We saw her in BNBL. And,
she can score.
Yeah, definitely a scorer.
Cody Upchurch now with 8 points to lead all scorers. Fiona Mannion talking about scores, trying to get something going, and she gets fouled by Shania Tarver.
Well, for this last 4 minutes before the halftime, Pat, the Latin Academy's got to get the ball to men. Even if she has to come up to the foul line, which she just did, let her drive. She'll be able to get to the free throw line.
Is that a foul?
Early foul. She bumped the bump.
Well, still bonus, though. Still bonus.
Yeah, so it should be 1-1 here for Latin Academy.
Yeah, Coach Dever was trying to make sure they got the free throws on time this time.
Since making their first 2 free throws in
Yeah,
the ball
5
game,
times, huh?
Latin Academy has missed their last 5. And they miss again. That's number 6. Michaela Russell with the rebound. Back out to Frattaroli. Elbow jumper, no good. Mannion trying to back her way in. Can't get it to go. Must feel like there's a lid on the rim right now for the Dragons.
I was just thinking the same thing. That those must be the shots she was making last night against Malden.
Lisa Sullivan, no good on the putback. No good the second time. And Latin Academy calls a timeout here. 3:18 left to go in the second.
I mean, this full court pressure defense by Fenway is giving Latin Academy Dragons a really hard time. Coach Dever wants to give them a set to try to get the ball past half court where they'll have an advantage, because Latin Academy is taking the chance. They have 4 players here in the backcourt.
And Latin Academy still with just 7 points here with just over 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter. And Mannion's obviously not scoring inside. You got to think Latin Academy's got to get somebody else involved to kind of loosen things up for Fiona.
Somebody's got to make a shot. it's as simple as that. It really is, because believe it or not, Fenway's also missed a bunch of layups. So we got a wide margin now. It could be a lot worse. But actually, it goes back to what you said in the open, Pat. Fenway and New Mission girls. Those 2 teams, that they've just been top of the city, for what, last 4 or 5 years? 5 years, definitely.
Ashling Mannion inside. Fiona, strong move. That time gets the reverse
That's
lane.
one of her favorite moves. Likes to go up and under, use the net as an additional offensive weapon so the defender can't get to the block. If she can get a couple of hoops before halftime, she might feel like she's into the game, and that'll give the team a chance for second half.
Natalie David tries to feed it inside to
Again,
Sullivan.
good job.
Yeah, Frattaroli again out on the break. Again, can't finish. Ashling Mannion can't finish the reverse lay-in. Fiona Mannion with the rebound. And they're going to call a travel inside on Fiona Mannion.
Yeah, there was some contact. Let's see. Got an injury on the floor is one of the Latin Academy players.
And Natalie David is down on the floor for Fenway.
There was a bit of a scrum. Oh, it looks like, she might have got
an elbow somewhere.
Elbow to the stomach, yeah.
So Tarver will come back in for Fenway.
You got to like the effort from Fenway's, right? I mean, the Latin Academy Dragons. They're fighting for loose balls. They're just, I can't believe, like you said, the lid on the basket. I can't believe, and this is their home court.
That's
how
right.
many layups they're missing. It's some of it's just the tension, some of it's over anxiety. When you look at the score, you're down by so much, you want to try to be perfect with every shot. Nice steal.
Gets knocked away.
Another
Frattaroli
chance again.
once again on the break. This time she stops and pops. No good. Mannion back to Frattaroli. Another shot, no good. Mannion gets stuffed. Mannion is then able to squeeze it home.
That's one of the few times they've been able to finish off.
So John Rice calls a timeout. 2:02 left to go here in the second quarter.
Again, he's going back, just like you said the first time, one of his first timeouts was called because the defense, let's watch again, there's 3 people around Mannion, she's able to score it, and the baseline defense just wasn't there. So he's going to call a timeout and just to get them set. And it's as much for future games as it is for this one right now. He knows that with the kind of lineup he has out there, they're going to face some other big scorers. So let's get this double team on the baseline, let's get it right. Let's execute it correctly.
Right now, Latin Academy really getting on the glass and out rebounding Fenway 14-6 so far here in the second quarter. So they're getting a lot more opportunities.
Oh, yeah. That's the effort we were talking about, because some of those are offensive rebounds.
But they got to convert down low. They still are missing layups. Mannion with the rebound.
Nice pass.
This time out to Terrio, who's able to corral it. And it's stolen away. That time by Upchurch. She gets the ball stolen away. Frattaroli. And Terrio traveled with the basketball. So go back to Fenway.
Pivot for Schlick. Well, the assistant coach over here can hear him saying, "Don't force it." But again, it's tough when you know you're down so much and you look like an open lane to the hoop. A lot of times you get ahead of yourself.
Three-pointer from Terry is good.
Three-point shooting.
Monty Terry extends the lead to 19 here with just over a minute to go before halftime. Fenway now with 5 threes so far here in the first half. And they get the ball back after the turnover by the Dragons. Substitution for the Fenway Panthers coming in now is Priel Grinkley, freshman point guard. Thornton no good on the 3. Fiona Mannion comes down with a rebound. Mannion with a full head of steam. Kicks it to the corner, and offensive foul on Fiona Mannion. That's huge. That's 3 fouls now on Fiona Mannion.
She's got to come out because they need her for the second half.
6 points and 11 boards for Fiona. She's got to sit here with 46 seconds left to go before the half. Thornton for 3. That one off the back rim. Leahy coming away with the rebound, and they're going to call a jump ball. That should go back to Latin Academy, and it will. And we got a foul this time on Fenway. That's Priel Grinkley. Whistle for the hold, so Latin Academy will again get to the free throw line. They're going to start making some.
I was just going to say, get there. It doesn't do you any good if you can't convert. Well, it's double bonus now, so get 2 shots. It's been frustrating offensively for the Dragons all evening. It's the entire first half. Now you get your big scorer on the bench with foul trouble.
And Leahy no good on the first. Substitution for Fenway, Natalie David checking back in. Good to see her getting back in there.
Box out, ladies, box out.
Leahy knocks down the second. 28-point lead for Fenway, and the Panthers will try to get the final shot of the half. Thornton back to David. Thornton launches another 3, can't get it to go. And that is going to do it for the first half here at Latin Academy High as the Fenway Panthers lead the Latin Academy Dragons 30-12 here in the opening half. And right now, Alan, Fenway just kind of doing what they want offensively. They, as you mentioned, too, they missed a couple of shots.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean,
but they've still scored enough, especially behind the three-point line, to get this lead.
To me, that's the biggest surprise. You come into the game with the size of Gully and Carter for Fenway. I was thinking they were going to go inside a lot. They really haven't had to, because as they spread the floor, they're beating that 2-3 zone by Latin Academy with those three-point shots.
No question. Meanwhile, for Latin Academy, they just can't get a shot. I mean, free throw line, layups, they haven't hit anything from outside. Right now, it's just tough sledding for them offensively.
They're just over anxious. I mean, I think part of it is the sort of carryover from playing last night. He had a very emotional win. But again, and then unfortunately get one of your starters hurt.
That's right.
So you're missing, I think she had like 13, 14 points last night. So you're missing that. So it's frustrating. And like I said, high schoolers always, as much as the coaches say, don't watch the scoreboard, that's exactly what everybody does.
Oh, yeah.
So that attributes to some of the traveling calls, some of the offensive fouls, some of the missed layups, like you said. But Latin Academy's got to keep going to the basket so they can get Fenway in foul trouble to get to the foul line.
Latin Academy's head coach Bill Dever is over with our sideline reporter David Souza. So, David, take it away.
Well, Coach, it seemed like your team started to figure things out offensively in the second quarter. What would you like to see from them going forward in the offensive zone?
I think probably breaking the press, the four cross right here, breaking the press, getting the ball past half court, and not forcing bad shots. I think a lot of the shots we took were kind of almost like turnovers.
And then they also kind of seem to find their offensive stroke in the second quarter. What would you like to see your team tighten up with on defense?
Don't turn the ball over, stay back in the 2-3 zone, and give these guys one shot. Give them one shot, box out, and run off that. If you don't box out, they get second and third chances. That's kind of what's killing us here, I think.
And it seems like they're pressing very hard after they get baskets. They seem are very up on your baseline. How do you guys try to break through that?
Just go four across. Try to go long if we can. Get the ball to the middle of the court. Before sideline, that's a defender.
All right. Thanks very much, guys. Back to you.
Thanks very much, David. And Coach Dever, certainly his team did struggle with the press there in the first half.
He called a timeout early on and gave them, like you're just saying, four across. And basically what it means, he does have four players, but one of them is supposed to break long. They did it twice. The other thing that they weren't doing, after a made basket, when we're inbounding the ball, you can run the baseline. Right. And none of his players have done that yet. And so they feel like they're stuck. They luckily haven't had any 5-second violations yet, but they've come very close to having a couple of 5-second violations. So I'm sure he'll tell them now, don't forget, if you're inbounding the ball after they have scored, we can run the baseline to find an open teammate. But I know he wants to see someone run long, get that long pass and try to convert some of these layups.
Sure, because they have had a few of those fast break,
at least 5 or 6
long-range passes to get open looks. They just haven't been able to hit any of them. So we'll see if Latin Academy's luck can change there in the second half. They're certainly going to need it against this very high-powered Fenway team. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the third quarter here on Game of the Week right after these words. Don't go away.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can.
Get someone the cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That'd be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to Latin Academy High School in Dorchester for Game of the Week. We're at the half here, and Fenway leads Latin Academy 28-12. Just before we start the third quarter, we're going to take a look at the halftime stats here at Latin Academy High. And first up, we'll take a look at the Latin Academy Dragons. And first up, we'll take a look at Fenway, actually.
Yeah.
And there's Colby Upchurch.
We talked about Upchurch and a couple of three-point shots and then a layup. Gully with her size. That was 6 points. Gully also had 5 rebounds. Carter came off the bench in the first half with 3 rebounds. David and Upchurch, between them, had 5 assists. So Fenway's pretty much doing what they want to do.
Yeah, Colby Upchurch knocking down a couple of threes in that first half. Let's take a look at the Latin Academy stats.
As we expected, Fiona Mannion, leading scorer for them, but she's got to get a lot more shots for the second half. Thoreau with the 1 3-point shot. Then rebounds, Mannion has 11 rebounds already. Good effort for her. Russell with 9, and then assists. The Ashley Mannion, the younger sister, has a couple of assists in the first half. But the Latin Academy, the Dragons got to be more aggressive offensively, going to the basket to create some foul trouble on the Fenway team.
No question. They need some of those shots to fall. They got to knock down some free throws, too. I mean, when you're behind, the clock is stopped. You got to hit your free throws.
Best chance to get back in the game, and they missed what? They missed 5 in a row, 6 in a row at one point. And that's just not, you don't expect that. And as a coach, Coach Devers just, all you can do is shake your head. We're at home. We shoot on this hoop every time we practice. So what can you say?
Yeah, some games where we see, too, when teams change ends, they shoot a lot better at the other basket.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens
So we'll see if that
tonight.
happens for Latin Academy. I mean, they haven't hit anything from the outside. And players like Leahy, Mannion can hit deep shots, and Russell can hit deep shots. So we'll see if maybe they can get some outside shots going. The other thing, too, is Mannion's got 3 fouls.
Well, but she has to stay aggressive. Yeah. She's their best player, best scorer, best rebounder. Just got to play it out for as long as you stay. And the main thing is, if one, I still believe, because there's still some nervousness out there for some of these Latin Academy Dragon players who reality aren't used to really playing a lot of minutes. So if one of them can just hit their first shot, you'd be amazed how the emotion switches.
Oh, it's a roller coaster of emotion, right.
And, you're going to play better defense, you're going to give it better effort, and then you never know. You might be able to put 2 or 3 shots together. Coach
Dever also mentioned when we talked to him earlier in the week that a lot of times Latin Academy's defense will create some offensive opportunities.
But tonight that hasn't happened. I mean, they had a couple of steals, but off their steals a few times they've had turnovers, or they've had a traveling violation, or a missed shot.
We'll see if luck can change here for the Lady Dragons as they as they
Okay,
come
so
out
now
for the third quarter. So
they've actually changed the score again. So it's
right, so we had it right originally. So the score is 30-12 coming out for the third quarter. That's usually what happens. It's usually the gym that has it wrong, and we have it right in the truck.
They've come to us a few times, especially in
That's-
football. They come
oh.
to us and
Oh.
want to know, well, what's happened.
No question. And Coach Rice already does not like what he sees out on the floor. 7 seconds into the third quarter, he calls a timeout. They must have had some kind of set play, and it just didn't
Oh, they
happen.
definitely did, because he's talking to Amani Terry right now.
As we're in a timeout, let's take a look at some highlights from Colby Upchurch in the first half. She was the top scorer for the Fenway Panthers.
Yeah, well, we talked about her as she going to the basket here. That's the long three. She just stepped into that one and just brought the ball down, stepped in. Excellent shooting. I'll tell you, this is a different team from the last couple of years, but just as effective. If they can continue to get outside shooting like that, they're going to be tough to guard.
So Upchurch knocking down some threes along with Desire Thornton. And Natalie David with a three earlier in the first half as well. So, and Amani Terry had a three. So we'll see if they can continue their good shooting here in the third quarter. Ball poked away and corralled by Mannion. Russell with the pass up floor to Ashling Mannion. Frattaroli jumper is good.
There you go. She had a couple of open ones from the first half. Couldn't quite put them down, but this one gets her first shot here early in the second half. See, they're standing in a 2-3, but they've taken Mannion out of the middle of that 2-3 to keep her out of foul trouble.
Thornton drains a wide open three for
is
Fenway.
Good form. I think they got shooting drills. So that's what I was talking about. The 5-second violation. She can run the baseline.
Stay in two. Let's go. Watch middle. Stay in two.
And Frattaroli deflects the ball out of bounds. One thing we also have to bring up too is Bellett, Jordan
difference.
Bellett, the
Yeah.
freshman for Latin Academy who's injured tonight. She often plays the middle of their
right.
defense. Even though she's not the tallest player on the team, she's a good athlete, good
She moves
shot
her feet
blocker.
well. Moves her feet well, exactly.
And they're sort of missing that, I think, defensively inside. But it doesn't matter because Fenway's hitting every three in the book.
Yeah.
Natalie David with another one. And Latin Academy has to call a timeout.
I'm not sure. As a matter of fact, one of the Latin Academy fans on the other side was yelling, "Run the baseline."
You also had Fiona Mannion taking the ball out of bounds, and she's probably one of
She's
the
the
better
one
ball
you
handlers.
wanted to have her catch the ball.
Right, right. So I think that's sort of the struggle as well. So we'll see if Latin Academy can get that squared away. Meanwhile, Fenway with an over 20, looks like 22-point lead here with 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter. They're well in command. And this three-point shooting, you sort
It's
of
a
weren't
barrage.
sure.
It's a
Yeah,
barrage.
it's
I
not
mean,
just one player.
They came in the game 7-2, and they lost an out-of-state game.
They lost to New York and they lost to Archbishop Williams.
Okay, so clearly, I mean, they're going to be one of the top teams in the city again. But it's a different style this year. Over the last 4 years, they had McIntyre, the point guard, who sort of controlled things. But this year, it's going to be a lot more moving and passing.
So that was Arlington Catholic, the other loss this season for Fenway.
You know, to emphasize your point, they've had 5 different players hit a three-point shot in the game.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that team a couple of years ago when they had Decorah McIntyre, who could knock down the three, and also Jacayla Holloman, two
That's
players
right.
who are now
Yeah.
playing in college. That was sort of it. Like, it was those two going back and forth shooting the threes.
And now
you had
they-
5 different players knock down threes, and we haven't even seen Shania
Well, I'll
Tarver
tell
take
you,
a three.
Adding Upchurch is a big
That was a big
deal,
addition.
really.
Because Colby can play. As you mentioned, we saw her in BNBL. I think she was the MVP of the championship in BNBL a couple of times for us as well. Inside to Carter, back out. Terry Long with the three. Terrio gets the rebound for Latin Academy, and she's fouled by Desire Thornton.
But there's your Thornton card on that foul.
Mannion trying to go baseline. Gets the runner to
Shot,
go.
little baseline floater. I tell you, she has really good hands with the ball. She just got to get more touches.
Back to a 20-point lead here for Fenway. 2 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Tarver, no good from the elbow, and it's going to go back to Latin Academy. Here comes Frateroli. Mannion off the up fake. Scoop shot, no good. Terrio, no good off the back iron. Michaela Russell. And now it's Thornton who gets in there. That's going to be a jump ball.
Held ball, so that's going to stay with Latin Academy.
Get it inside to Mannion.
Up and under.
Working against Carter, and she squeezes it in.
That time she faked the up and under, stepped back away from Carter. But she caught Carter by surprise.
Good swing to Terry. That one off the back room. Carter with the rebound, but she almost threw it away.
Wow.
Good hustle. Now it's a 2-on-1. Mannion inside to Ashling, but it's poked away. Frateroli gets fouled.
See, I'm telling you, the best thing that the Dragons can do is just be aggressive to the basket, get a lot of these reaching fouls, get Fenway in the bonus as early as possible.
Yeah, Upchurch and Janiyah Gully coming back in. That's a little more size for Fenway. Maybe a little bit tougher inside.
Oh, you got Upchurch's shooting coming back in and Gully's defense coming back in, and her size. Wow, Gully and Carter are out there. This is the biggest team that Fenway has.
Russell on the putback for Latin Academy.
See, those are the putbacks that are missing in the entire first half.
Michaela Russell now with 10 rebounds for the Dragons. Upchurch inside to Carter. Carter trying to work her way in. Mannion all the way in, but couldn't convert. Couldn't get a clean look at the basket.
I think Gully got a little piece of that.
Gully with the corner three, and she's short with it. Tarver with the rebound. Tarver with the putback.
Nice finish. Nice finish. That's the effort we're talking about.
Frateroli. Lefty lay-in is good.
See, I tell you, that jump shot she hit to start the second half.
No question.
Got her going offensively.
Latin Academy cuts the lead down to 16. Here's the Frateroli layup
Nice
on the
finish
break.
with that left. She got by switching to the left hand, got away from the defense.
So Latin Academy, a little bit of momentum here offensively about midway through the third quarter.
We were joking about how changing the hoop makes a difference, but they're shooting much better here in the first few minutes.
This always seems to happen at this gym, too. I don't know what it is.
We had a boys' game a couple of years ago. I remember that. It was O'Brien. It might have been O'Brien, and they had a big lead. Latin Academy came all the way back once they switched hoops.
Knocking down threes on the other side of the floor. Meanwhile, in the first half, they were missing layups.
It happens, yeah. Let's see how far this can go, though. I mean, Fenway still has that long bench, a lot of depth on their team.
Yeah, we also saw Upchurch and Gully just got back in, so I'm sure they'll be making an impact as they stay out there probably for the rest of the quarter. But the Dragons do have a little bit of confidence, as you mentioned,
They're
offensively.
playing much better. They're playing much better, and as long as Fiona Manning doesn't get in foul trouble or foul out, then they'll have that offensive threat. I mean, she's, like I said, she's on one of the wings now of that baseline zone, so she won't get caught in any sort of accidental fouls.
Tarver, corner three. She's short with it. Russell with her 11th rebound.
So that's exactly what the Dragons need to have happen.
Go regular Yale, let's go.
That should be 3 team fouls on, 3 team fouls on Fenway. Still good.
Frattaroli, a little too strong off the backboard.
See, that was one of the 4 shots that Coach Diller were talking about at halftime. And that shows you how a bad shot gets you in trouble.
Yeah, Fiona Mannion whistled for her 4th foul, so she's gonna have to sit definitely for the rest of the quarter.
Oh, yeah, that's the last thing that they wanted to have happen.
And that certainly puts a halt to all that offensive momentum that you just had. Tarver comes down, can't get that 3 to go. Terrio comes away with the rebound, and
Tarver with the steal. Good hustle.
Kobe Upchurch stops and pops short with the jumper. And that ball gets knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Fenway.
It's going to go to Latin Academy. Yeah.
Go Yale middle, let's go.
Oh, I guess it did go off Fenway. You're right.
Yeah.
And another turnover for the Dragons. David can't squeeze it home, but you'll have 2 freebies.
Yeah, I'm looking at the zone breaker for Latin Academy, and teammates just aren't moving. And that's after the steal. Nice little twist to the layup and had it roll off. It has 2 free throws. Got to keep the feet moving. Give your teammate who's trying to inbound the ball a target.
And David no good on the first.
Watch this again. See, there's the foul right there, but she still continued with the shot. Just had it roll off with some bad luck.
Second free throw no good from David. Now it's Russell getting fouled. Oh, nope, they called her stepping out of bounds, so that'll go back to the Fenway Panthers. Turnover for Fenway. So Fenway now getting a little sloppy with the ball here in the third quarter.
Yeah, big lead will do that with you. A lot of times. We've seen it so many times. Big lead and start getting lax. Lazy passes, bad shots. All a coach can do is just keep substituting to get different combinations in.
Asia Sullivan now back in for Fenway.
14 fouls now on Fenway.
Ashling Mannion being guarded by Janiyah Gully. Tries to feed it inside to Russell. That'll stay with Latin Academy. Russell got caught underneath. Frattaroli gets blocked inside.
Good defense by Sullivan. Get that block, get it back to Tarver.
Gully with the 3. Tarver again there for the rebound. Natalie David, deep 3.
I'll tell you, this is we've seen John Rice's teams for the last 7, 8 years. This is a much different offense from what he's used to running, and I don't see him complaining about the shots. So I think he's giving all these shooters a green light.
There's the Frattaroli inside to Grealish, and she can't hit.
Again, that was just bad luck because she
was
made
halfway
the right
down.
move right. Just have it roll out.
Yeah, you mentioned Fenway and taking all these threes. They don't really have that.
But they are open. They are open though, and so you get it. I think that's his philosophy. He's saying, okay, you're open.
Right.
We don't have a guard who can just penetrate on her own to set us up. So as the ball moves, if you're open, take the shots, travel there. She probably just should have shot that one, but that's the key. And again, you get spoiled. You have McIntyre, who was that guard, who can penetrate on anybody.
Yeah, she's been gone for 2
the
years
last
now.
the last 4 years. Yes, and she played 4 straight years.
That's right. And then before Takora McIntyre, you had Tajane Vega-Lee. So
That's right.
And she played for 4 years.
Yeah,
she had 8 years.
She was a combo guard.
Yeah, they overlapped a little bit. So you had about 6 or 7 years of
don't worry about the ball.
Yeah, like we have our all-star point guard,
As long as they don't get in foul trouble, we're fine.
Right. Takora McIntyre last year, she was at Temple. She actually transferred. She's at St. Rose this year, and she's starting for St. Rose this year. So she moved over there, and she's doing very well, as Coach Rice has said. Tajane Vega-Lee just graduated from Southern Mississippi.
That's right. Yeah, I remember her.
So those two players doing very well. Fenway alums. And, of course, Jaleesa Ross still at URI, playing for URI. So Coach Rice has a lot of players in the college ranks still getting it done.
Well, it's a testament to staying with it, working hard, learning how to compete.
Gully with the long two. So Upchurch. Tarver with the long two. Here comes Frateroli. And Upchurch comes away with the steal.
Give Tarver credit on that one. She went down to the floor to get it.
Asia Sullivan towards the rim, no good. And good block inside from Colby Upchurch.
Should be
they're going to call a foul.
Yep.
So Michaela Russell will have 2 free throws.
Watch the drive by Russell. Church. Well, she did go out. Get that swipe. You can go straight up. If you go straight up, contact, you won't get the foul. But once you swipe, that's going to be the contact they call for the foul.
And Russell cannot hit the first.
Still struggling at the free throw line.
Wow. 3 for 12 from the free throw, 9 now for Latin Academy. Janiyah Gully trying to go coast to coast, and she scores off the window. Mannion off the give and go. Terrio has to try for the 3. And after 3 quarters, here at Latin Academy High School in Dorchester, the Fenway Panthers lead the Latin Academy Dragons 40-22. We're going to head to break. When we come back,
the quarter.
Really nice coast-to-coast play from the outstanding sophomore, Janiyah Gully. We'll be right back with the 4th quarter. Make sure you stick around.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework.
He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to Latin Academy High School in Dorchester. We're just about ready to start the 4th quarter here on Game of the Week as the Fenway Panthers lead the Latin Academy Dragons 40-22. Folks, next week we'll be over at Madison Park High School for a boys basketball game between the Madison Park Cardinals and West Roxbury Raiders, as long as we don't get another snowstorm, because Madison gets a ton of snow this time of year. But right now it looks good. That'll be at 6 o'clock next week on Boston City TV.
Got to be able to get the truck up that hill.
That's right.
Because otherwise, no show for anybody.
No, we don't have chains we can put on the tires of our production truck. So. Be good to see some other schools. We haven't gotten a chance to see West Roxbury on the boys' side for a while, so be good to see them. We saw Madison last year, had a decent season under Coach Wilson. We'll see how they are this season. This is really the meat of the schedule for all these teams. See a lot of league play going on right now.
And this is where exactly you either step into the playoff hunt or you fall out.
Gully with a putback that just didn't fall for. It was a great rebound.
It's interesting. You're hearing all the excitement from the Fenway bench when Gully does something because John was telling me before the game that she works really hard in practice, and all her teammates really appreciate that. I mean, she's one of the bigger players who could, quite frankly, just use her height to be a player. But she hits the floor, she runs the floor. So that's why they were so excited when she made that foul, that last shot for the third quarter, and also that rebound. So it's good to see that your teammates are appreciating the young player like that. And she keeps growing. She's gonna be something.
Be really good. She's gonna be really good. Michaela Russell down on the floor right now for Latin Academy. She took a tough fall.
She did.
Right around half court.
And fatigue, too, because she's been playing hard.
Oh, yeah.
And she's been playing hard the entire game.
Especially with Mannion out for most of that, for a lot of that third quarter. She's had to step up. She's been handling the ball and working down low.
She has 13 rebounds in the game.
Regular 2, let's go.
Coach, who's moved back into the coaching box? We can start up. Just move back a little bit, please. Come on now. I understand. Come on, I'm not.
7:30 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Tarver, elbow jumper, doesn't fall. Carter, no good on the putback. Gets her own rebound, and she'll head to the free throw line.
Yeah, it's just without Fiona Mannion in there. Well, she just got back in, but she has to be careful. So her on the opposite side. See, she was in the middle of the zone before. Now she's on one of the wings, so she has to come from the opposite side. Carter can really do some damage with her length.
Step up, box out here.
Fenway also struggling from the free throw line as Carter misses his second. They're now 3 for 10, but Tarver with another offensive rebound. Carter with a nice spin move, but she couldn't put it home. And nice steal there from Desire Thornton. Who converts the layup.
I'll tell you, if Fenway gets that double team down defensively, that's something they can use in the state tournament. Because as you play bigger teams, when you have your players coordinating those double teams, it's a big deal. Nice second effort that time by Latin Academy.
Yeah, Gully initially blocked it, but Terrio there for the putback. And Thornton's fouled on the 3, so she'll get 3 free throws. So they're going to call Grealish with the foul. Thornton will be shooting 3. And she knocks down the first. If you look at Fenway right now, as they see, we get the replay here of the foul.
Yep. Some of that actually is fatigue, I think, defensively, because you've been out there virtually the entire game, and you don't mean to get that close, but you do want to try to challenge the shot.
And Thornton knocks down the second. Thornton knocks down the third.
Yeah, you were saying how we can look forward to seeing Fenway in the state championship. And I think there's no, unless something really strange happens. But they really are loaded.
Terry misses that layup there. When you look at even players like Desire Thornton, who aren't necessarily a big scorer and probably never, very rarely going to be your MVP of a game or anything like that, good shooter, good defensive player, and she's been playing on varsity for 3 straight years.
Exactly, and that's the key. That's the key. But I remember, you're right, she came in as a freshman, and we just had her in the middle school championship as an 8th grader.
That's right.
She went to Fenway as a freshman and started playing right away.
Start the clock.
Upchurch for 3, and she's short with it. Tarver wide open.
Nice baseline. See, that was a set play. There was a pick set on the foul line. Carter came off it perfectly. Steal by Gully, but she can't put it back. Gets her own rebound.
I believe she was stepping on the line, so that would have been a 2. And Upchurch with the rebound. Inside to Carter. Tries a drop step and scores for Fenway. And Upchurch comes away with the rebound, the steal rather. Tarver for 3.
Stop panicking, relax, relax.
It's going to be a travel. Yeah.
So Fenway Panthers really spreading it out here tonight. 4 players with at least 8 points. Nobody is in double digits just yet.
That's 32 out of your 48 points between 4 players.
There you go.
Yeah, it's impressive. They're a different Fenway team. It's, even though they have a few players back from last year.
Tarver with the jumper gets it to go.
Haven't seen the mission yet, but we'll see them in the next few weeks because that may be another showdown situation.
No question. Well, we saw most of Fenway's core from their team last year is back this season. You have Tarver, Carter, Thornton, Gully, and then you add Colby Upchurch to that. That's a nice rotation. With Natalie
key.
David, I can't believe I forgot about her. She had a great year last year.
But you're right. You talk about. I think Upchurch very well may be the key because she has that size. Tonight she's showing us her 3-point shooting range. They all hustle. They all and
right.
As John teaches that full court pressure because he started out with man-to-man full court pressure, tried a zone press for a little bit, then went back to the man-to-man. Now, if he can get the girls to really buy into that kind of work, because you're talking about trying to get a steal in the backcourt. If you don't get the steal, you have to sprint back every time, and find your player. So it's a lot of work physically and mentally. But if he gets this team to buy into it, they can be tough.
Well, I'm sure he knows, too. Teams like New Mission, teams like Cathedral, they like to run.
Oh, yeah.
And this bigger Fenway team is going to have to run in order to stay with them later on in the year.
See, this is, like I said swarming earlier. I stay with that because that's what they do.
They have so much length, too. When you have both Carter and Gully in there, then you add Tarver and Upchurch, who both are long 4 wing players.
There's Gully.
Gully couldn't get the putback, but she'll get 2 more free throws. So Gully with 12 rebounds and 2 blocks here tonight. Looking to add to her point total. And no good on the first. Neither team can hit free throws tonight.
I tell you mentioned Cathedral, and unfortunately, missing that game because of the school cancellation. Fenway, of all teams, would want a chance to play Cathedral at some point.
Oh, no question.
Because of what happened last year in the postseason.
Right, in the state semifinals,
Fenway. That was unbelievable.
That was, because of a snowstorm, actually, they were supposed to play the state semifinals at the TD Garden. That got moved to a couple days later. They went up to Woburn and played the state semifinals up there. Coach Rice said it kind of threw them off. They were like, we can't play at the Garden, this and that. and they just weren't ready to go, he said. They weren't ready to play against Cathedral, who is now the 2-time defending state champions in
If you're
Division
not
4.
ready against them, it gets ugly real quick.
Real quick, and that's exactly what happened. Natalie David from the corner knocks down the three. Pass down the floor, Frateroli over to Terrio, who's got an open layup. She gets the basket and one.
You see, nice finish.
Yeah,
good
she got a shot
concentration.
in the face.
As I was going to say, good concentration to finish that. Coach Dev was actually asking about what you just said, but shot to the face. It might be he wanted intentional, which would be a free throw and possession of the ball.
And Terrio cannot complete the three-point play.
Continues with all the Latin Academy Dragons have been doing, just having a tough time at the free throw line.
Natalie David for three. Carter inside, and now it's Colby Upchurch trying to clean it up. And that'll stay with Fenway.
That's up. Caleb.
Well, Fenway's clearly been in full control for the majority of this game, but I think John Rice will maybe look at this game and say, hey, we weren't necessarily totally sharp offensively.
No. Well, I tell you,
this stuff we got to work on
exactly.
before we get to the postseason.
The shooting percentages are actually pretty bad. We
Jolly
talked about
with
the
the
free
steal.
throw line. That was what they end up 3 for 11. They have 2 more coming up. Matter of fact, he's going to have all 5 girls come out. But you're right. That's an excellent point because he's looking at the long-term picture. Okay, city championship, state tournament, finish off the rest of the regular season strong. All right. So I mean, even though they're going to end up winning pretty easily, 20 points or so, there's a lot that was left out there. Probably the best thing that he's happy about. They were able to get a lot of steals out of that full court pressure. They got a lot of steals out of that, and they turned it into easy offense. So that's the one thing I think he'll be happy about. The three-point shooting, that's going to come and go. And so now he's going to put all bench players in. But again, this is a clear indication that they're right back to the top of this city league.
And Gully hits the second. And Janiyah will head to the bench.
So we have all bench players out there now for Fenway.
Yeah, Melissa Barros now in for the Panthers. Asia Sullivan back in. Amani Terry back in. Priel Grinkley also in. Again, the freshman getting some time. And we also have Emmeline Matos in for Fenway. Gully leaves the game with 9 points and I believe 15 rebounds.
Yeah.
A couple of blocks as well. So really nice game for her. Under 3 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Fenway on top 54-26 over the Latin Academy Dragons. Terry lining up a three. Ashling Mannion trying to get it into Terrio, and she couldn't hang on to it.
So Latin Academy they'll drop to 4-4, which is still at 500. And while you see Fenway go to 8-2 now.
8-2. That three no good. Out of Fenway. Grinkley comes away with a rebound. And Grinkley scores off the window. The freshman.
He actually
for the Panthers.
tripped over a defender, but still was able to bank it home.
Mannion couldn't get that one to fall, but she'll head to the free throw line. As we mentioned before, got to be just a frustrating night for Fiona Mannion.
All around. I mean, especially when you came off such a really good game last night.
I mean, even that play right there, you saw she had a clean look
that's
at the shot,
one.
couldn't get it to fall.
You know she makes those.
Yeah.
But fatigue kicks in when you're playing so many minutes. And you're also playing against a team that's going full court pressure.
"12 points and 14 rebounds now for Fiona Mannion. Still getting that double-double, but Brinkley trying to make a move inside. Now it's Aisling Mannion out of the break. And basket good there for Latin Academy.
That's the rope.
That's Casey Rezenbit.
Oh, that's the freshman. Yeah, it's
another freshman.
There's a big freshman that Latin Academy has. That's her.
Asia Sullivan going to score inside from Fenway. Mannion couldn't get that floater to go. A familiar scene we've seen all early evening here at Latin Academy. Mannion just not able to hit any of those runners, floaters, shots inside. Terry, and she's fouled on the floor, and it is a traveling violation on Amani Terry.
Man, you'll get 2 more free throws going to the basket again. And like you said, they have to bounce right back because they have a Sunday game. So you get a little bit of a rest, but back-to-back Thursday, Friday here, and then Sunday, tough one with New Mission.
New Mission is one of those teams, as we've said all along, they love to run, they love to kind of mess things up and play with controlled chaos. As Mannion hits that second free throw. So that's a game where Latin Academy is going to be up and down a lot.
Well,
in that
hopefully
New Mission
they
gym.
can get Bob Jordan back. If they can get her back, then that'll make a difference. They'll feel more familiar with especially with the offensive end.
Mannion on the drive. And she'll get a couple more free throws as the seconds wind down here in the fourth quarter.
Yes, she is, and she does. She has excellent instincts offensively, getting to the basket. It's just that first half, the swarming defense for Fenway just didn't allow her many touches.
Hits them both. She's going to finish with a good total here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
But
it'll be a little deceiving because most of it's here in the second half.
that'll do it here at Latin Academy High as the Fenway Lady Panthers take down the Latin Academy Dragons here 58-34. And we mentioned for most of that game how Latin Academy just couldn't knock down many shots, and some of them were point blank, some of them were in traffic, but they were decent shots for them, and they weren't falling. And then you couple that with the missed free throws, and then they're behind the 8 ball.
Everything falls down. And the first thing you said tonight, Jordan Bellot wouldn't be playing because of rolled her ankle or something last night.
Right.
So that's taking out 13, 14 points automatically, and a starter, and someone who you depend on both sides of the floor, both ends of the floor. So you're on you talk about you're on the 8 ball. Yeah, it's like 2 8 balls. But as expected, Fenway loves to put defensive pressure on you. John Rice will mix up his sets. Sometimes tonight he went a lot of man-to-man. Right. He'll go zone press. He'll go zone half court, full court, 3/4 court. Likes to get oppositions to turn the ball over and to turn it into easy layups. Fenway missed a lot of easy shots.
Oh, they did.
But I was surprised. The thing that surprised me the most was not only the three-point shots they made, but the volume that they took. I can't remember a Fenway team
not
shooting
from that many players.
This many three-pointers. If that's going to be their offense, and they're going to hustle like they do to get extra possessions.
Sure.
I mean, they could be an exciting team going for the rest of the season.
No question. We saw a lot of that this afternoon against the Latin Academy Lady Dragons. I'm sure we'll be seeing Fenway somewhere down the line, probably in the postseason. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have our final stats and our Game of the Week MVP right after these words. Don't go away.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
When I was in foster care, I never
gotta be
knew
solo,
when I
right?
would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go.
Sounds pretty
Then
clear in
one
my
day,
headset.
I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning.
Okay.
My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Got a quarter?
got a king?
Go fish. In your face, in your face.
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back to Latin Academy High School in Dorchester. At the conclusion of Game of the Week, the Fenway Lady Panthers took down the Latin Academy Dragons 58-34. Fenway really spread the scoring out across the board. They had 5 players with at least 8 points here this evening, but one player who really stood out was Janiyah Gully, the outstanding sophomore. We saw her last year. She had some great games last year for this Fenway team, but she really got it done on the board. She had a couple of blocks, a couple of steals.
Failed the stat sheet, right?
No question, across the board.
And had some fun doing it. There you go.
Absolutely. She's got the bench fired up. She did a little bit of everything here tonight for the Fenway Panthers. She is with our sideline reporter, David Souza, along with the game-winning coach, John Rice. So, David, you can take it away.
Thanks, guys. I'm standing here alongside Coach Rice and Janiyah Gully. You guys were really good offensively, dictating play in the second half. What did you guys do well on offense?
We talked with each other, made sure everybody was in the right space, and we made just ball movement and listening to Coach Rice.
And, Coach, it was a really consistent effort, kind of from your starters all the way down to your subs that went in. We're still able to get good points. What did you think of your team's consistency throughout the lineup?
Well, we're still working hard. We passed the ball better today. We have to improve on passing and our communication. So it started. I thought we came together better in the second half, and even more so in the fourth quarter.
And Janiyah, 15 rebounds today. What was the secret for you beneath the hoop?
Just focus on getting the ball for everybody.
And, Coach, kind of as a whole, your team really out-rebounded Latin Academy very well. What did you think of your team's performance on the boards?
Well, we have good length, good athletic ability. She can do so many different things. She can score, she can rebound, she can dribble, shoot, pass. She's strong in all areas of the game. So she can play at a higher level than we saw tonight as well. She's capable of 15, 20 points, 15 rebounds every single night. So I think you saw a glimpse of what she's capable of doing. She's just a sophomore, still got a lot of work to do, but she's going to be a special player.
And, Coach, midway through that first quarter, you guys started going towards that full court press and really kind of turned things around for you guys defensively. How did you think that helped you out going forward in the game?
Well, that's what we do. So, we just try to communicate, play strong defense each and every night. And still working on our rotation, and we have good length, good quickness and speed, so we're built to be a strong defensive unit.
Thank you very much, guys. Congrats on a great game and a great win. Guys, back to you.
David, thanks very much, and certainly Coach Rice happy with the effort from his outstanding sophomore. Contributions all around, and we mentioned it before too, having the addition of Colby Upchurch, who brings that outside shot to the point guard spot, and she's very calm with the basketball in her hands. I mean, that was a great addition for this team, and they're going to be tough to stop in Division IV.
They really are. I mean, it's like we said, it's just different. I mean, watching Fenway for the last, 4 years. They've had a consistent style. This year is just the defense is the same, but the offense is much different. And even with the length, like John's always talking about the length they have with Gully and Carter, they didn't really go to the post that often. I mean, they got the big girls got most of theirs on second chances, offensive rebounds, but the three-point shooting was amazing. I mean, it may not have been percentage-wise they missed a lot, but they made some big ones to really open the game up.
Without question, a lot of players who were knocking down threes and taking threes, and even if you take a few of them, even if you don't make them, it does kind of spread things out. And you have those two bigs down low that control the glass, and that's what Fenway did here tonight. Let's take a look at the final stats from tonight's ball game before we sign off here from Latin Academy. And first up, it's the Lady Dragons.
Well, Dragons, they struggled in the first half mainly, but Mannion, who's their leading scorer, she did come through with 10 points in the second half, so she ended up with 16. Thoreau with 7. She hit a three-pointer and a couple of layups. Mannion also had 14 rebounds. Russell had 14 rebounds. The sister, Ashley Mannion, the freshman, had 5 assists. Federoli also had an assist to add to their stat sheet.
Yeah, I think if Latin Academy is going to be successful, players like Russell, and then when they get Bellot back, there'll be more scoring for Latin Academy in the future.
More consistent, exactly.
Let's take a look at Fenway's final stats.
Definitely.
And there you see Gully at the top of the list.
You see a lot of single numbers, Pat, because, like you said, they were spreading it around to so many people. At one point in the fourth quarter, we got the stat from the truck that 5 players had at least 8 points. That's 40 points right there between
Right.
5, but none of it in double figures. Okay,
Right.
and so here we have Gully and David with 9 each. There's the big 15 rebounds for Gully, which made her the outstanding player. Of course, Carter had 7 rebounds off the bench. Upchurch, the transfer you talked about, with 5 assists, and then David had 4 assists. So I think I really think you're right that Upchurch, because a lot of times transfers don't always work out that well.
Yeah, it
especially
takes a
this
while
early.
to get them
But
acclimated.
she clearly is part of their system. Like you said, as a matter of fact, she was slowing things down, pulling the ball out, using the shot clock, making sure they got open shots. So if she can shoot the way she shot tonight, that's going to be a huge addition to them.
Yeah, they should be a lot of fun later on in this season. We're certainly looking forward to seeing Fenway again. And Latin Academy, despite dropping 4-4, they're going to be a team that's going to try to make the tournament.
They're going to keep digging. They're going to keep digging. Yeah.
And the city playoffs are set up differently this year. You got 4 different divisions in all of the city league.
That's right.
So you're going to have 6 teams that are going to make it to the city playoffs. Top 2 teams get a bye. The other 4 teams
Play
kind
it
of
off.
playing like a
Yeah.
play-in game.
Mhm.
So you're going to have 6 teams. Latin Academy could be one of those teams, that second tier that kind of gets in there in the city playoffs. So we'll see how
and
things
if they have
unfold.
all their players, you never can.
They could certainly surprise
Yeah,
somebody,
there you go.
especially if their outstanding freshman comes back here for the Lady Dragons. Folks, want to thank you for joining us here on Game of the Week here at Latin Academy High School. If you want to watch this game again, you can certainly go to our website, www.cityofboston.gov/game of the week. All the games from this season are up on our website. This is really our first game of the basketball season because of the weather, but we'll certainly be having a few more in the next coming weeks. And as the basketball season unfolds, we have all the football games from last year. If you want to check those out as well, you can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. Use the hashtag BostonGOW, and I flipped through the Facebook one without even saying it. But you can also follow us on Facebook if you search for Game of the Week here in Boston on Facebook. So a lot of good stuff up there on social media that you might want to check out. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Thank our crew for another great production. We'll see you next time here on Game of the Week. Take care, everybody.